Hi, I'm George. You can ask me about those or other things. Today, I want to look at the further demise of teacher agency and expertise. Why? I've just participated in some significant training days over the year, initiated by the Victorian Education Department, which cost nearly $200 million, called the Middle School Literacy and Numeracy Initiative. Its aim is to improve literacy and numeracy skills in most students because they underpin critical and creative thinking, which are skills that kids will need for lifelong education. So I agree with that aim. But ironically, the training showed that those skills are not needed by teachers because the training promoted the use of experts and evidence, in particular HADI, the Educational Endowment Foundation and Evidence for Learning, with little acknowledgement of teachers' experience at the coalface. There was some acknowledgement, and in my opinion, those sessions, those very short sessions, were the most valuable out of the 6 days that I attended. But there was no forum to allow for teachers' critical review of the experts and the evidence, and there was certainly no acknowledgement of the significant peer review critique of all of that evidence. How and why? Well, why has probably got something to do with the neoliberal agenda. I'll leave that for another day. How? There's been a promotion of Hattie's meme, statement without evidence are just opinions, and worse, Kevin Collins from the Educational Endowment Foundation, if you're not using evidence to inform your decisions, you must be using prejudice. Those memes have really infiltrated Victorian education in the last 8 or so years, so teacher expertise and judgment is belittled by those sorts of ideas. Hattie, again, just to reiterate, when teachers claim they're having a positive effect on achievement or when policy improves, this is almost always a trivial claim. Hattie claims that virtually everything works, and then probably the most derogatory statement that I've heard in my 30 years of teaching, one only needs a pulse and we can improve achievement. Yet virtually everything that Hattie says can be challenged if you take the time to look in detail. For example, the study that Hattie cites as the most robust study on feedback is the Kluger and Demise study, and it shows that 38% of feedback does not work. They summarise their results in a table of effect sizes. I encourage you to learn more about effect sizes, but effect size less than 0 is a negative effect size, indicating that achievement goes backwards. So as you can see there, that the significant amount of the study showed that feedback does not work. Of course, this is not mentioned by Mr. Hattie in his book, Visible Learning. Gert Biester, the guru from Europe, warned of this many years ago. He calls this evidence-based agenda a form of totalitarianism, and he says that this particular use of evidence threatens to replace professional judgment. His prediction has indeed come to pass here in Victoria and probably New South Wales. Hattie and the evidence-based agenda dominate policy and discussion. Biester continues, and I think this is in line with teachers' experience. He basically says that teaching is complicated and there isn't any research that has been able to unravel that complexity. In addition, a significant scientist, Ben Goldacre, looking at the use of meta-analysis and effect sizes in education, says it's a little bit more complicated than that. And I'd like to promote that as the new meme for 2020. This cartoon best describes what's happened in education, I think, and the evidence-based agenda. The complexity of the classroom has been reduced to one data point. The AU priorities for this year were reduced teacher workload and increased teacher agency. How were they going to do that? Well, they made a significant contribution to try and get teacher voice involved in curriculum design. They produced a document that Steve Colbert was part of. It was an excellent document presented to AU members. But I think the AU needs to take that further with teacher practice and pedagogy and challenge, in particular, Victoria's simplistic notions of the 10 high-impact teaching strategies. And what can we do? I think we can promote Dylan Williams' mantra that teachers need to be critical consumers of research. Any detailed look at any of the research cited by Hattie or the Educational Endowment Foundation shows there are a huge number of problems. And we also ought to promote the significant peer review critique of meta-analysis and effect sizes, and in particular Hattie's presentation of these. There's at least 50 detailed critical reviews of Hattie's work that most teachers are unaware of. We can also lobby the AU to do more, read some of the controversial research, and contribute to the examination. I've started a blog. If you want to assist me, then contact me and I'd be glad to get you involved. Thank you.